So busy.
Yeah.
So we had to get rid of the cloths and that.
Dance floor was always absolutely heaving.
It was, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It was huge. I mean, living where I lived in Cheston, there was nothing there, nothing in Cheston at all, apart from one pub that used to let us go in and buy a glass of squash, play a game of pool. But to actually leave the village and go into a town, to a nightclub, was just the best thing ever. It was a real big part of our teenage years.
It drew people in by having loads and loads of different bands, and we're talking about major bands of the day, absolutely. You know, the top bands that would come in there as a warm-up before they went on tour. We had loads of PAs from seriously good artists, and we had all sorts of different things, comedians, some great ones. A gentleman called Lenny Henry, people like that used to come down there. Tommy Cooper, yeah, God bless him. So many talented people used to go to Goldiggers as a warm-up before they went on tour, as a little test of where they were, let's say.
It was a really good size if you happened to be fortunate enough to play there on a night where there was a good crowd in there. And obviously it was not purpose-built for, it was a cinema, but the acoustics were really good, but also the closeness to the audience crowd, and had a balcony as well. So it was quite impressive as a I guess would be called a mid-term sort of capacity place. Bath Pavilion had 1,000, so Goldiggers was quite interesting there.
And we had, in fact, the launch of the Budweiser in this country there. That was like we were going for all day setup, all night pretty much.
Yeah.
And then the next day would be the launch, or the next few days. We had to occasionally close down the, the actual disco, which was obviously our bread and butter mainly, and get those things going on. And we had some major launches in there, which is great. It didn't hurt the fact that we were obviously Virgin. We always used to start with that. So Virgin Goldiggers, with i.e. Mr. Richard Branson, God bless his concepts.
1984.
One of the unique things, I think, especially at the time, was every evening at about the same time, I can't exactly remember, 10:30ish, they used to play the same piece of music, and the light shows would just come into action like you've never seen. They were amazing. Just probably a 5-10 minute show. It was an instrumental piece of music, so it was just very dramatic, and the lights were just amazing.
I remember walking down High Street with my best friend at the time, Andrew, and we bumped into Morrissey and Johnny Marr from the Smiths, and I've still got their autograph now, where obviously we sort of said, "Oh, give us your autograph," and that was great. And we used to sit in a bit on the side as well when they used to get the bands in there, and we sat in there, and Madness were in there, because it was just really cool that so many people would be flocking to Chippenham by the bus loads to go and see the groups, or basically going to one of the nights out on a Friday or Saturday.
We were strict on the door, and that's why we brought a lady in, because we had to do handbag searches, and we needed somebody to look at that side of it. And also sometimes, unfortunately, we had to get some ladies that had to be searched for reasons that we thought they were perhaps a possible danger to others, let's say.
Was that quite unusual for the time?
For a female, absolutely. We were of the first. I can't remember when the rest of them brought them in, but yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we were at the beginning of it. It was just something that it needed to be done.
A lot of the times, free tickets used to be handed out around the town, basically because, if nothing else, they wanted an audience, because they went on to film Sight and Sound there. The BBC did.
Yeah.
So if you look at the archives of BBC Sight and Sound, a whole chunk of them are filmed at Goldiggers, so everyone got free tickets. Yeah. So you didn't get any gigs, you could have got free gigs, and they were all majorly famous people.
Yeah, Howard Jones, again, massive at the time, sold out, tickets sold out, and I was actually working on the door at that point, so I'd let 2,000 people in through the building. He was just about to start his set and the fire alarm went off, so we had to evacuate the whole building. I can remember people sat on my car outside, everyone came out of the building, and then I had no way of knowing, because I'd already taken their tickets, who had tickets, who didn't, and I think we probably had about 4,000 people come back in, so I think someone knew what they were doing when they set the fire alarm off.